What's going on, guys? How you doing? Ron here with TechTipsToGo. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how I'm making $400 a day. This is not to brag, okay? This is just showing results of what I've been getting into. Not what I've been getting into new, but something that I've actually invested more money into. Like I say, always start small, and I'm going to be talking about trading bots. I know I've been talking about trading bots, but I've got a lot of questions from people that are private DMing me, people in my private group, people in my open group. They're asking me a lot of questions on, is it worth it? How much capital do I need? So I'm going to show you some of my results, and I'm going to kind of go over who I think this is for. And this is not financial advice. I just want to kind of put it out there and say, hey, if you're not willing to do the work and learn, then I don't think this is for you. Because when they say bots are passive, they're not fully passive, because there's a lot more ways that you can capitalize and make more money on your bots. Okay, and I'm going to get into that strategy. This is not the strategy that I made. Shout out to one of the guys out in Mississippi, the guys in my group that showed me this, but I kind of did it a different way than he did through 3 commas. And shout out to my boy in Qatar. My boy in Qatar is doing big things with it, doing big things with bots, and he's always sending me the BAM. So anyways, let me get into my phone. The great thing with bots is it's pretty addictive. You can see my phone here right now, and I'm just kind of scrolling here. I've got like 3 commas notifications. And let me just open it. I'll just show you how addictive these bots are, because when they fire, pairs fire, so this is a paper trading account. When you get into bots, the first thing that I recommend is getting into paper trading. Paper trading means that you can start off with an account with no money and try it to see if it works, okay? If it works for you, great. If you tried the scripts, you tried the bots, and you've got a proven technique, the next step that I do is I like to go with, $1 a bot, $2 a bot, $5 a bot, etc. And you just seen this in my count on how much, I've gone from, $1 a day making $2 a day to up to $400. Now it's $400 Canadian. So it fluctuates. Sometimes it's not 400, sometimes it's more, right? But as we grow and as we learn, you learn to take more risks with proper due diligence. So over here you can see, Solana profit this morning or this afternoon was $9 here. Over here there's a bot, a paper trading account. Quant made $11 here. That was this morning at 940. So this is pretty semi-passive. I've got a SHIB bot that made $12, and it just keeps going on. $1 here. You make Solana, starting new pair. The one great thing I like is when I see these money bags on the right-hand side and the bottom, you made $12, you made 37 cents. Here you made $40, etc. So, and then you got insufficient funds because of safety orders. So, and that's why I say things aren't fully passive when you're running trading bots, because there's a lot more ways that you could make more capital, you can make more money with trading bots, but there's also some ways that you could get wrecked too if you don't manage your safety trades. And safety trades is one of the most important things when I talk about with bots. With the guys in my group, the guys that have been doing even bots for 2-3 days, they understand the importance of safety bots, because I really emphasize that in the course. And if you're interested in the course, it's $39 a month. You get access to all the scripts. And I really emphasize not to get wrecked. I got courses and lessons on how to avoid, the top common mistakes that people make with trading bots. Okay, so you could over here you could see all my bots. You can see the recent ones that have just closed. Okay, so I think this says October 12th, but it started on the 12th, but actually closed yesterday at 4:14. So you could see a list of the bots that I made. You could do the calculations, etc. Roughly, it was about $400 for the day. So sorry, I mean about 300 and something US, which is equivalent to 400. So I did a calculation of it, and it was about $400 a day. It's not like the old Gala days. You guys know I'm big on Gala, and I have Gala nodes. When I got into Gala nodes, they were about 2,000, and like I said before, when the times were good, Gala nodes were giving me about $4,000 to $6,000 a day US, right, in passive income. And it was completely passive income. Do I think there's a future for Gala? For sure. I think it's one of those blockchain gaming companies that's going to be around for a long, long time, just because they have solid community, solid team, etc. And they're not trying to do everything on their own. But anyways, this is not about Gala. Shout out to one of the guys out in Mississippi. He showed me one of his strategies, and he just said, it's not really a strategy, but he says, because he's not running a lot of bots. For me, I think I'm running about 40 to 60 bots. Okay, so with my bot strategy, I like to do a conservative strategy, but have multiple pairs firing. Some people run a multi-bot strategy that takes a signal on a certain indicator, but the bad thing, it's not a bad thing, but the way I look at it is you're doing a multi-pair bot on the same signal, because every pair and every altcoin has its time, right? You know, different RSI levels, different MACD, different trend levels, etc., crossovers, etc. They all play out differently. So what I like to do is, as you can see, I've got Zilliqa, RSR, BTC, Block, and I got, you know, times that by 40 to 60. So each bot fires at a different time. And the way I like to run things is I run a conservative bot with the safest bets, and not financial advice, with the safest bets, and then I multiply that by 60. So if my 60 other bots are firing on the USDT pair, I'm going to take those safe calls and just wait for them to fire. It might not fire all at the same time, or it might not fire a lot, but at least I know that they're safe. And if I want to increase the bots that are firing, I'm going to run multiple pairs on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute, on the 3 minute, on the 15 minute, on the 30 minute, etc. On USDC, on USDT, on Bitcoin, because they all fire at a different time, right? Okay, because you have multiple pairs to work with. Stablecoin USDT, stablecoin USDC, BUSD if you have access to Binance, and BTC, right? So those are a lot of different options. So if you want to really run conservative bots and take the safest bets, one, you make the scripts. Two, you ask me, and then, you know, as we grow, we continue to make the scripts. So right now, I think we've got about 60 scripts running in our program, and you could see them here. You could see that all of the bots from the 5 minute. So the dash C is for conservative. The dash A is for aggressive. These are aggressive bots. Okay, the B&B bots, we've got E3L, those are leverage tokens. So they're not margin leverage coins like on Bybit where you can get liquidated. These are actually spot leverage coins. They're like leverage ETF coins. So you don't run a chance of getting liquidated on leverage coins from KuCoin. They're called like 3 long coins, right? And there's a lot of them. So shout out to my boy in Qatar. He's out in Qatar. I won't say his name just so I don't disclose his name. Anyways, so I was showing you a strategy that I used, and this was just adding funds. Okay, so when I saw Bitcoin rising, and I mentioned this in the group, I said when Bitcoin is rising and I've got an order that wants to close and it's in 1 or 2 safety orders, or sometimes even if it hasn't entered a safety order, what I'll do is I'll add funds to it. And this is a great feature in 3 commas, is adding funds. Okay, so if you come over here, you can see that this is in a negative minus 149. So usually a couple of safety orders and they fill. Okay, and you could see that, okay, it's active and it's already gone through 3 completions, and you could see the safety orders that have happened. So over here, what you can do is you could add funds. Okay, right now I can add funds to it. It shows that I've got 16,000 available. Okay, so I have 16,000 USDT available. And you could say, well, I want to add another 2,000 because I want this to close. And this is one of the strategies that I did yesterday to make more capital and to make more money on my trades. Okay, because sometimes your bots are firing, right? And your bots are only firing, and sometimes you're only getting $1 to $10 a trade. Now, if you wanted to increase that, one, you could add more funds, but you got to do it safely. And this is where I say bots aren't for everyone, because a lot of people that come into my group, they come in and they ask me, they ask me in Telegram and say, I just want to run your scripts and set and forget. And for me, that approach isn't the right approach, because I want you to learn about safety orders. It's just like an athlete. If you want to get good, what are you going to do? You're going to put in the time and you're going to practice. Okay, that's one of the things that I want to see. And that's one thing that I like to hear, because it shows me that you're doing the work. You know, shout out to Mr. Pickles. When he first got into bots, he was messaging me every single minute. And I took the time to explain every little thing, because I want him to learn, because I know he's going to help me out in the group. He's going to help out the other members, etc. So he had a lot of aha moments. He's like, okay, I got it. Now he's pretty well versed in bots, and he's making money, and he likes it. So shout out to my boy in the desert. He's halfway around the country. We're on different time zones. We talk all the time. But anyways, we do a lot of strategizing together, and I was showing him this strategy, and you could kind of implement this into your strategy as well. So those are the bots firing. You could hear them. So if you're looking at your bots and you're asking yourself, should I close it? Should I get out of it? What does the time frame look? Because when you take your emotions out of it, you know, one thing that I like to say is stick to the plan. If you back test it and everything looks good, stick to the plan. Try and keep the emotions out, because you end up becoming an emotional seller and you become a panic seller. I see this a lot with traders. What happens? The price goes down, they panic sell. They do the worst thing possible, is they buy at the top, sell at the lowest. You know, it's just horrible. So anyways, here's one strategy that you can just do and implement into your bot trading game, okay? And I was showing this to one of the members in the group. So let's say you're working on the 5-minute bot, okay? You're working on a scalping bot, and you're working on the 1, the 3, or the 5-minute bot, okay? So here, The one thing is you want to look ahead and say, okay, well, where are we going to close in half an hour, in 15 minutes, etc. Okay, so if you look at each candle, and if you're new to trading, this is basically each one of these candles represents a close. Okay, so this candle is based on the daily time frame. So this chart is based on the daily time frame. So each one of these candles represents a close. So it's a one-day close. Now, if you're working on the 5-minute chart and you're wondering, should I sell, should I stop my positions, etc., I want you to look at the charts, because you can scroll out on the 4-hour or on the 1-hour and look at the MACD. And if you're familiar with the MACD, I'm not going to get too technical, or I'm not going to do too much technical analysis, but I'll just go over the basics. You could look at different indicators like the RSI, Bollinger Band, stochastics, etc. You could look at the zero line. You could look at these lines, which is, these are different EMA levels, the 12 and the 26 by default for the MACD. Typically, a lot of traders like to trade when there's a crossover. So when there's a crossover below the zero line, they like to take a position, because you can see there's a crossover here. What ended up happening? We went up. Now you can calculate based on the hourly chart. Okay, if we're going to be doing a crossover and you're around here, it looks like these two lines are coming together, and maybe we're going to cross over and we're going to swing to the upside. Then you count how many candles. For example, that might be 1, 2, 3 candles, 4 candles. That means, hey, we might be closing 4 hours on the upside. Okay, you look at this. Another prime example is over here. We had another MACD crossover below the zero, another cross, we went to the upside. You could come over here again on the MACD, we had a cross, we went to the upside. Now you could count how many candles, but don't just use the MACD alone. Like I said, you got to really study. And people who are getting into bots, I don't say just don't fire scripts, but understand how candlesticks, understand the basics, ask a lot of questions. And this is the whole thing with groups. And that's why I just don't offer the course for you guys to take it. I offer community so everyone can learn and get these aha moments so that they know that they're doing it right. That's the great thing about cryptocurrency. There's a lot of different groups out there. You just have to find the great group that works for you, that has a lot of members that are like-minded, that are going to help you. Whether you're doing bots, whether you're doing trading, whether you're doing scalp trading, swing trading, etc. Okay, so you take a look at the MACD, you take a look at the levels, and you look and say, okay, well, based on the hourly time frame or the day or the 30-minute, where are we heading? If we are heading in an upwards trend, okay, maybe the safety orders that I have in 3 commas, I'm going to add more funds. And that's what I did yesterday to get to the level of $400 a day. I added more funds because I saw that, hey, we're going in an upwards direction, okay? Sometimes those calls aren't 100%, but based on the indicators and the strategy that you use, a lot of times you're successful in it and you got to get in and get out very fast. Okay, so a lot of the guys in my group will message me and say, hey, Ron, what do you think? You think we're closing an upside in an hour or 2 hours? Should I stay in the trade? And I'll give my opinion, okay? And I'll always say not financial advice, but I'll give my opinion, and they might do the same thing. They might add funds too, okay? So shout out to Crypto Wade. He always messages me. And sometimes he does his own calls because he'll look at the charts and he'll be like, yeah, I'm just going to add funds. So that's how I was able to increase my bought positions and the capital and the money that I made to make that $300-400 a day. And like I said, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. It just really depends. And like I said, bots aren't fully passive. You got to be active in it. Unless you have a lot of capital and you don't care and you've got a lot of safe bots running, you could kind of set and forget. But a lot of people don't have, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to kind of set and forget, right? It's kind of like semi-passive where you can kind of look and manage everything from your phone. So it's very easy, in my opinion. It's easy because you could do it anywhere in the world from your phone. I like I said, I run a business. It's service-based business in technology, and I'm on the road a lot. And I manage everything from my phone. The only thing that I wish that they had was the ability to add funds from the 3 commas iOS. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, if you want to join the group, like I mentioned, there's a link below. And as mentioned, leave some comments, and I'll see you in the next video.